Welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic. Last week, I was able to hear a discussion from Gabby Rivera, who wrote the solo series for America Chavez. So if you're not familiar with Marvel Comics, America is a relatively new character. She is a lesbian character. She's a latinx character. She's incredibly powerful. There's a lot of dynamics, and it's really interesting to hear some of these behind-the-scenes thoughts and how this whole process worked. So Gabby's presentation was about an hour long, but I cut down a couple questions that I think are especially interesting to you, especially those of you that are fans of the Heroes Like Us series, because we featured America a couple different times, but now we get a look at some behind-the-scenes workings and motivation and, you know, some things that you might find interesting. So check out a couple questions here and her answers from Gabby Rivera.
So can you talk a little bit about, the kind of transition between novelist to writer for America Chavez and, creating this, first Latina queer superhero for all of us to love and enjoy and crush on?
Well, America Chavez, I did not create her. She is part of the Marvel Universe for like 6 years. In the Young Avengers, the Team Brigade, she's leader of the Ultimate. She's like her own, they created her and she's been there. But I came along to do her solo series. So that was super fun. What was the other part of your question?
Oh, I just wanted to know sort of, how it felt to move
the
from
transition.
Yeah.
There was none. There was absolutely no transition at all. Because I can't draw, like not even sticks and circles. It's really terrible. And so I never thought that would be something that I could do or would do, right? And so it went from, hey, I wrote this cute little like indie book that people are talking about because it has models for how to navigate like white feminism and how to like connect to queer and trans POC communities in your own family. Like there's all these different things going on, and then, hey, do you want to write for Marvel Comics? And I was just like, well, something I'm probably not qualified to do, but yes, I will do that. Because I was just kind of like, well, this is, if there's anything, I feel like there's one general rule of like, a foundational element in this country. It's like, you don't need experience to do the thing. You can just do the thing, you know what I mean? Like, fake it till you make it to the White House, One thing that I'm thankful for is the editors that I worked with at Marvel, right? Like, sometimes when you are let in to spaces that don't always have people like you, right? Like me being the first Latina to ever write for Marvel, right? So I'm in a space where there aren't a lot of folks like me. It could have been very different, but the editors at Marvel were like super supportive. Two white folks that whenever I came out with a crazy idea, they were like, we love it, here's what we're gonna do. We know all this stuff about Marvel history. So why don't you read these like 10 comics of the X-Men from the 80s, and we'll come up with a way to like infuse what they did there and what you want to do here, so it really like feels like it's part of the universe. Like they were consistently like supporting and helping and like tying in their expertise. Instead of sometimes when you're the first one or the only one of your kind somewhere, they always want to shut you out. So I'm really, really glad about that. It made the learning on the go that much easier, Well, one of the things that like inspired me, right, is that, so America Chavez comes and she doesn't have any family, right? Like she comes into my world, she doesn't have any family. And for me as like a Latina, and she's Latina, I was like, damn, she don't got family. That is, like not even one cousin, you know what I mean? Like, it was like, it was shocking to me. And so I was like, we gotta build in family for her, but we also have to build in mentorship, right? Because for me, like that is the only reason I'm sitting here with y'all, is that especially women have supported me from day one. Like queer mamas of color have given me their couches to write on, you know what I mean? Not literally, but like while I'm writing my story, I can sit on the couch kind of thing. Like in exchange for watching their babies, or like just always a support system. So I wanted to do that with America, right? Like if she is so powerful and all these things, since she is so powerful, like who could mentor her? Storm.
Yeah.
Storm to me is like, if not, to me, like the most powerful like superhero in the whole universe.
We
to
can
me, right? Like the only
definitely
one
be
I
friends.
actually
We're friends now.
care about. You know, like, I'd be like, what's up, Superman? How you doing? Storm! That's what it'd be like. And so they're like, you know what we could do? Why don't you look at some of these comics from like the 60s and 70s when Storm had an atrium. And maybe we can pull the old school element of the atrium into this new mentorship situation with America. And so that's kind of why she like blasts back to the 80s, and it's like Storm with the mohawk. Also, I wanted to like queer up Storm just a little bit because I like that mohawk and the energy, like whatever Storm is into, it feels queer, you know? And so then, oh my God, I got this like PDF vault of like 60s X-Men. And I got to see like how it's different. Like there's so many like bubbles, right? There's so many thought bubbles. It's like text on text on text. And they're a little zany and madcap, and like some of the panels just crash into the next, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden they're fighting something else, right? Like, so I was like, okay, all of these people that are yelling at me and tearing me down and saying I don't know how to write comics are not making room for the fact that comics are like, have been their own things all these times, you know? Like, there's so many different ways to tell a good story and to write a comic. Yeah, that's a wild one. So she was created by like, oh man, Nick and Casey, as just Latina, right? Like just Latina, which is like kind of, in essence, an impossible thing because you are Latino, Latinx, Latina, because you came from somewhere else, right? Like you came from Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, like a slew of other islands and countries, and then because you live here in the United States, but you were from there, you're Latino. So it's like an identity that points to where you were and where you are now, and that makes you this thing. So she was just generally Latina, and at first I just kind of like took that as face value and was like, well, why can't we be in outer space just as we are? When white folks are like from outer space, they can just be from outer space. They don't have to be tied to like Sweden, you know what I mean? Like, it's different, right? It's different. And then also like, I'm still developing my like consciousness, right? Around like what it means to be, what Latinidad means, and just still learning, right? So for a while I was like, wouldn't it be cool to just be intergalactic Latinx? Like if there was just a planet out there where people were like brown and spoke Spanish and have that sabor and their like connection to each other, you know, and like those elements that make me feel like I'm home, if they existed outside of the US, don't they still count? Don't they still matter? You know what I mean? Couldn't that be what we do? And so for some people that's not enough, right? Like for some folks it's like, nah man, you should have just made her part of the US or the US Latino experience. You should have given her a country or island. And you know, there's a part of me that's like, does everything always gotta be centered in the US understanding of how we exist as a people? Like, do I always have to tie a story of what my brownness means to me based on like the oppression of people like me? Is that really what I'm gonna center this story on? And so we explored one half of America's identity, and she's from a badass planet, Planeta Fortuna. Like, she's out here, you know what I mean? She's got a whole other side of the family. If somebody wants to like jump up and be like, you know, we're gonna tie her, then you know how it is in comics. Somebody else takes the story and they run with it and they do their own thing. But in this particular instance, I just wanted to tell like a joyful story. And if she's already from outer space, why not explore that part of her?
So thanks for watching our video. If you don't know much about America Chavez, you can check out this video and this video. She is featured in both of those, or you can check out the entire Heroes Like Us playlist where there are 50+ videos about superheroes with different identities to discuss. So check those out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.